We hear a lot of stories about the military, we hear a lot of stories about the army, we hear a lot of stories about people in uniform. Today on the Cedric Live Show, we have the Ministry of Defense spokesman, Brigadier General Richard Karemire, who was kind enough to join us. Welcome to the Cedric Live Show. On today's episode, we have the spokesperson of the Ministry of Defense, Brigadier General Richard Karemire. Thank you for coming, Brigadier.
Oh, thank you, Cedric, for inviting me to this show.
It's always an honor to have men in uniform. You've been through so much for the sake of this country, so it's my honor to have you on this show.
Thank you once again.
Now, General, a lot of people don't really understand the role of the Uganda People Defense Forces. Mm-hmm. I think the assumption is it's soldiers on the street with guns, basically protecting or walking about, setting up roadblocks. What is the role of the Uganda People Defense Forces in this country?
Thank you very much. Just to, as a background, just say that we have had very, very many armies. In this country, we are not the first army ever to exist on the planet Uganda. We have had armies well even before colonialism. We had, for example, what we are called as a Valiga in Bunyoro. These were basically, it was basically a tribal army, very chauvinistic, not well organized, no clear strategy on how to defend its people. No wonder when colonialism set in, this army and others also that were in Uganda, they were defeated. Then that ushered in another era of the King's African Rifles. Just the name itself, that they were King's African Rifles, indicated what its mission really was. It was there to support the will of the colonialists.
Yes. To
ensure that us, the indigenous Ugandans, were subdued and brought to the rule of our colonial masters. They had their own character, very different from subsequent armies. After the colonial army, we had the post-colonial armies, like the Uganda Army and Idi Amin, the Uganda National Liberation Army. These were brutal armies. Very many people, Ugandans, as you know, were really killed by these very armies. Very fascist, totally anti-people. Not there to protect the country, but really to defend the regime of the time. And how were they doing that? By harassing the Wananchi. So that's how we come in now as Uganda People's Defense Forces, but formerly called the National Resistance Army until the promulgation of the 1995 Constitution.
Yes.
And as UPDF, we are definitely very, very unique. We are a liberation army, a pro-people army, with very clear principles. One of our first principles that really differentiates us from other armies is being patriotic. We love our country with all its people, with all its wealth, and we're there really to defend it. That's why we have done all that we can to ensure that at all time our people of Uganda are safe, our borders, our sovereignty and territorial integrity is protected.
See, General, as you speak right there, I'm really intrigued because you've taken us back to basically the formation of Uganda's first army.
Yes.
And you brought me straight through to UPDF. Now, fortunately for me, I'm kind of on the boundary between NRA and UPDF. This is when I was growing up. Yeah. So maybe I have some history in my mind as to what UPDF is, what it was as NRA, and what it was before as UNLA. If you read a little bit, you can find out.
Yes.
Maybe not the inner workings. But there is a generation, and especially the generation when there was a population boom in 1986, who don't understand this history. And sometimes I've felt that this message has not been, or this history, as you put it today, has not been communicated to the youth very well. And I think platforms like UBC, we should be able to educate and inform these people born after 1986 about what the army is about. Because in order for us to understand how good the UPDF is today, we need to understand how bad some of the armies were before. So do you feel that way sometimes, that maybe the message is not communicated effectively and efficiently so they understand?
There is quite a lot of literature that can be read about the struggle.
Yes.
There is, His Excellency the President has written a book, Sowing the Mustard Seed.
Yes.
Lieutenant General Pecos also has written a book titled How I Saw It. So some of this literature is really there. It's just a question of interest. And of course, it's also incumbent upon us as leadership in UPDF, and also as us who have gone through this period, share it with our young generation.
Yes.
So part of their limitations in knowing what happened is we are to blame, and but they also have they are to blame as well.
Yes.
They need to focus a lot on reading more than doing other things. I mean, it's good to do other things, but also you need to balance. Otherwise, the documents are there, how they trace UPDF from the time of the Fronasa,
Yes.
the training that was undergone by the first cadres in Montepes in Mozambique, then the building of the father of the Fronasa forces between 1971 and 79, as attempts were made to dislodge Idi Amin from power.
Yes.
And the 1980 elections that were contested, that sparked off the last phase of the struggle. That
Yes.
is the 6th February attack on Kabamba in 1981. And that was really a point that really led to the further growth of the UPDF we see now.
Yes.
So that period is very important, 1981 to 1986. It's something one needs to read about, how a small force of 43 men armed with 23 weapons could grow to the extent of being able to dislodge a government army in 1986.
We're going to cut right there, General. And when we come back, we're going to talk a bit more about those distinguished gentlemen and ladies who went and liberated Uganda between 1981 and 1986. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Cedric Live Show. I'm still here with Brigadier General Richard Karemire, the spokesperson for the Ministry of Defense. General, we're talking about the 1981 to 1986 liberation struggle that got Uganda to where it is actually today. And I'm going to give you two perspectives. First of all, someone like myself, I have 100% appreciation for this. And of course, you've alluded to the fact that maybe the youth should read more and get involved more. But I think it's also imperative that the generals such as yourselves tell the story. And not from, I think there is a tendency sometimes to talk at people instead of to people. You know, sometimes when someone is saying, you must appreciate, I think the appreciation is their decision, not our decision. So we were talking about the 1981 to 1986 struggle and the building of the UPDF.
Yes, I'm still have to say that 6th February 1981 was really a watershed in the history of the UPDF. That's the day when Kabamba was attacked. That's when we started building on what already had been had started in the Fronasa days.
Fronasa stands for?
Front for National Salvation.
This is just for the purposes of
Yes, Front for National Salvation.
Yes.
So 1981 to 1986, this was a period of protracted people's war that really occurred, took place within what came to be known as the Ruwero Triangle. There were a lot of skirmishes between the National Resistance Army and the Uganda National Liberation Army of the time. The National Resistance Army succeeded because of the correct strategy, which is the protracted people's war. People were involved in the struggle. They provided intelligence. They provided food. They provided also shelter to the fighters.
Yes.
And the struggle had a good leadership. Our president and the commander-in-chief led the struggle. And he had that, he was well ideologically grounded. He knew what mattered, what was important, what was not important in executing such a protracted people's war.
Yes.
And indeed, they are not, it could be the only struggle that has been executed within the country without any external base.
Yes.
So the struggle stands out to be very, 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 very unique.
It really was the people's war.
It was the people's war, and really local, no foreign base.
Yes.
Like other liberation movements we've read about.
Yes, like the ANC and all of them.
Yes. So that also has shaped the character of the UPDF, it being pro-people, because the NRA relied so much on the people. Without the people, probably the situation would not have been as it were at the time. So that really, that has really crystallized us, has crystallized the UPDF in what it is now.
I think a lot of people don't know that the UPDF has been responsible for a lot of the regional security of this part of Africa. And I think, I don't know how to ask the question without going beyond what I can and cannot ask from a security perspective. But I know that the UPDF has been very influential in securing the region. And maybe many people don't know this.
Yeah, the second principle that underpins the UPDF is being Pan-Africanist. That means that we look beyond our borders.
Yes.
We have a broad picture of how to secure, what's the best way to secure the African people. And I strongly believe that on our own we cannot, so we need to work with other African brothers and sisters. We need to integrate. That comes to the point of integration. We need to integrate so that we are stronger than what we are on our own. And based on that principle of Pan-Africanism, we have extended the modest support to a number of our brothers on Africa. We've supported them to achieve the freedom they have.
Yes.
We have supported the African National Congress. You may recall that in the 1990s, the ANC camps had to be closed in Angola. And despite the fact that we were still very young as the National Resistance Army, we embraced them and gave them a home where they could
so really
train
they should
from.
stop asking us for visas, you know, because this was their home too.
No,
But that's a joke.
That's that's a different business. Yeah, we supported them. We supported other friends in the neighborhood, and as a result of that, this has contributed towards the widening the frontiers of liberation, and also stabilizing the Great Lakes region.
Yes.
So we are very delighted that we have made this modest contribution towards the liberation of African people. That gives us hope as Africa. That really gives an example of the advantage of having a Pan-Africanist force.
Yes.
As regards to having a tribal force, as we had a tribalistic force as we had in the past. Yeah.
Well, I think the UPDF, you know, I've heard in many circles, even outside of Uganda, that the UPDF is one of the best armies in Africa. And, you know, I suppose that's testament to what you're telling me about in terms of the Pan-African approach that the UPDF has taken. Now, when we come back from the commercial, I want us to discuss a little bit about how the youth, you know, who are 70% of our population, and you know, by extension, have to become an integral part of the UPDF, and vice versa. So when we get back, we'll talk to Brigadier General about the UPDF integration with the youth and vice versa. Welcome back to the Cedric Live Show. I'm here with the spokesperson of the Ministry of Defense, Brigadier General Richard Karemire. General, we're talking about UPDF and its future. In Uganda, of course, as we know, there are 30 million young people, 70% of the youth. And in order for the UPDF to keep growing, these young people need to be involved. What is the UPDF approach to the youth? I know they've done some good things. Some of the commanders now and some of the generals are quite young, relatively speaking, compared to other generals. How do you engage with the youth as UPDF?
Okay. Of course, the defense of the country is the real responsibility of every able-bodied citizen. But not everyone can be part of the UPDF. We encourage all the youth to be part of this defense mechanism. If you can't be if you can't be in the regular UPDF, at least you can be in the auxiliary forces.
Yes.
Like now we have the local defense units.
Yes, I've seen them.
That's also a great area where one can serve. But of course, we always put more energy, more life into the UPDF. It's like injecting in more blood.
More fuel.
More fuel, as you say.
Yes.
Every year we carry out a recruitment.
Yes.
We bring in almost fresh 2,500 youth into the UPDF.
Yes.
That's why we have remained to be such a dynamic force.
I've heard even the applications exceed the number of positions available.
Absolutely. Whenever we call up, whenever we conduct a recruitment drive, when we want 2,000, over 50,000 people turn up.
And what is the
That's-
criteria for joining the UPDF?
We always set up certain, we have a clear criteria.
Yes.
One must be a Ugandan citizen with a verifiable national identity card.
Yes.
You should be 24 years old. You should have a minimum level of education of senior 4.
Okay.
So we are tired of soldiers that are illiterate. You know how they
Yes.
mishandled our people in the past. And you need to be healthy because our training is very, very rigorous.
Yes.
And you should be a person of integrity, clear record, verified by the local councils and the internal security system.
Yes.
We don't want to have bad guys in our force.
It's not a good idea.
It can never be a good one. So this is how we ensure that we have a very good group of Ugandans joining us.
Yes.
So this is an area where the youth, of course, can come in to serve the country as patriots, while the rest really do other jobs in other sectors.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think generally speaking, the UPDF is well received by the general population. Of course, there are a few isolated incidents, but I always say, at the end of the day, it boils down to the individual. And sometimes the individuals don't represent the interests of the UPDF and they make bad decisions on their own. But because they're in uniform, it causes problems. But I think generally speaking, the UPDF has done a lot of good things. So in terms of specialization, you know, because you're saying, you know, you're an S4 graduate, or S4, you finished S4. What about the ones with particular skill sets?
Okay.
It's like doctors,
Okay.
engineers, filmmakers, you know, some people, sportsmen, you know, some people want to join the UPDF. But when I was growing up, my interpretation of a soldier was somebody who had a gun and who stood outside, you know, and guarded people. But it was never made clear that there are professions within the UPDF.
That's true. The senior 4 I was talking about are basically what we call riflemen.
Yes.
But we have other professionals. We have lawyers that man our judicial system.
Yes, such as the court martial is run by
the
lawyers.
court martial.
Yes.
We have doctors who
Yes.
run our medical hospitals.
Yes.
We have engineers.
Yes.
We have a well-formed engineering brigade. They've
Yes.
done a tremendous work. They worked on the theater stadium in Colorado. If you remember when we celebrated the 50 years of independence.
Yes.
They have...
They did Martyrs Day last year, didn't they, as well? Or
yes,
was it
they worked on Namugongo Martyrs Shrine.
Yes.
They have worked on a playground at Makerere University.
Yes.
And of course, internally, they are the ones that have put up most of the buildings within our barracks.
Yes.
So these are very professional engineers.
Yes.
We have pilots, of course. They also have different skills. They are able to man our Air Force.
Yes.
So we have a broad range of capabilities and capacities within the UPDF, which at times we put to the use of the general population.
Yes.
You may recall there's a time we had industrial action by our doctors.
Yes.
And the UPDF doctors and health workers were able to fill in the gap for some time.
Right.
They handled patients in the civilian hospitals and health centers countrywide. So we remained very available to support using those very capabilities we have.
Yes.
For the common good of our country.
I know, I mean, the UPDF has, I mean, you tell me they do so many good things, but many people don't know that they do these things. I've seen the SFC, for example, undertaking some cleaning exercises. I've actually seen them do it. in Entebbe, cleaning the streets and following up after people. And I think that's a noble cause. And I think they do it around the country, not just SFC, but other...
The entire UPDF does that, especially during the Army Week.
Yes.
Prior to the celebrations of 6th February.
Yes.
But we intend to make it it's really part of our culture. Unfortunately, we don't always have the time to do it.
Yes.
Last week, we were at Kawempe Specialized National Referral Hospital doing the same thing. We did some cleaning. We are supported by our local defense units.
Yes.
Just to emphasize that these LODUs are part of our reserves. They are auxiliaries, and on top of supporting, keeping overall order, they also have to do some of these civil military activities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, General, thank you very much for coming on the Cedric Live Show. I know you're very busy, and I appreciate your the little time that you've given us. But I hope that the viewers will enjoy having seen you and heard you on the UBC show. And before we go, is there anything that you would like to tell Ugandans here and abroad about the UPDF, maybe in 1 or 2 sentences?
Just say that the Uganda People's Defense Forces will never abandon our people of Uganda. We remain very committed to peace and stability. We have all the determination to protect the sovereignty and the territorial integrity of our country. We will never let down Ugandans. We have a clear focus of where our country came from, at what stage it is now, and where we need to move in the next century. So in that regard, always rely on us. And don't hesitate, you the youth, to join us so that we continue to build a very professional force that is totally committed to protect the people and their property.
Thank you, General. Up next on the show, we have Christine Turamuhawe of CJ Home Solutions, who is going to be joining us after the General leaves. General, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much, Cedric.
Welcome back to the Cedric Live Show. I'm here with Christine Turamuhawe. Welcome to the show, Christine.
Thank you.
But before we go very far, I'm going to tell these viewers how I found you. So I'm going through Twitter, right? And somebody wrote an article about you. I think it was an article, or it was must have been a comment. And it was about how instead of doing the things that maybe other young girls do while they're at university, you decided to set up a small business called CJ Solutions?
CJ Home Solutions.
CJ Home Solutions.
Yeah.
So I read the article and I found it extremely intriguing that, you know, being a student, that you'd go and do something that maybe was quite difficult when other girls your age, I don't know, how do I explain it again? They were looking for the television as opposed to chasing the vision. So to speak, they were looking for the material things. And, you know, I was really impressed. So I thought that it was a good idea that maybe you'd honor us with your presence and come on the Cedric Live Show. So, you know, it's great to have you.
Thank you.
And, you know, I hope that you can tell us what you do, tell the viewers what you do, and maybe continue to be a role model for these young ladies. So tell me a bit about, first of all, CJ Home Solutions. What is it?
CJ Home Solutions is a cleaning company.
Yes.
We also do babysitting, and we have chefs who cook.
Really?
So basically, we are home solutions. We can come, cook, take care of your children, clean the house, and basically that's it.
A lot of people are watching this show and wondering that you've just said you're a chef, you have chefs, you have cleaners, you have babysitting service. What makes you so different that you should be on this show rather than any cleaner, cook, anybody else? What else do you do? Tell me about yourself.
Well, first of all, I'm a student at MOBS.
Yes.
I'm going to my 3rd year. I'm doing international business.
Okay.
I started cleaning people's houses alone in, I think, December last year.
That's 2018 or
Yes.
2019? Yeah, 2018.
2018
Yes.
to date. So when I posted about it on Twitter, that was in January, late January.
Yes.
Or Feb, I don't really remember.
Yes.
I shared my story on Twitter and I got support. I got a lot of clients. So by March, they were really overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do the work alone anymore.
Right.
Yeah, so I thought of recruiting a few friends of mine that could work with me, but then I didn't know who would do the work best or who I would trust, because some clients leave you at home alone. So I needed people that I trust. So I decided to come up with something legal, something registered that people can trust. Yeah, so that's how the company came up. Yeah, currently we are 16.
You employ 16 people?
Yes, we are 16. 3 are specifically doing the cooking.
Okay.
1 is trained.
So they come just on request? You request them to come and cook like on a Saturday or a Wednesday, and you provide all the ingredients, or?
No, let's say you have like a small birthday,
right,
or a get together.
Yes.
You can contact us and we will send you someone, 1 or 2 people,
yes,
who can do a catering. If you need more, we can. But there are 3 who are really good. They are trained, they have their papers, they have their certificates.
Yes.
Yes. So those are the ones that do the cooking.
So that's 3 of the 16?
Yeah, 3 of the 16.
Okay, and then the rest of them?
4 are doing babysitting.
Okay.
Yeah, so they come to your home, stay with your child. We don't have a center yet. Yeah, but it's a future plan.
Isn't that a bit sensitive in terms of your clients? Don't they ask a lot of questions? Where
Yes,
these people
they
are from?
do. They ask a lot of questions, and we're really trying our level best to be as secure as possible, doing criminal checks.
Yes.
Yeah, background checks. But there are people I know, there are people I trust. But, you can't trust everyone entirely.
Everybody's trusted until they do something wrong.
Exactly. So babysitting is the most sensitive that we're handling right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the rest they're okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the rest of us are doing cleaning.
Okay.
I'm still cleaning with them once in a while. When I have free time, I do the cleaning with them. Yeah, so basically that's what we're doing. And I started it with, I needed help from my friends, but from talking to people on Twitter and my parents, a few friends of mine, yes, it gave me a broader perspective of if I can make it a startup for campuses, because we don't really have qualifications. We're not exposed like other people to getting jobs. So it is better if we can do something that really doesn't need so much of qualification, so much of
but
papers.
You know that Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook, or the majority shareholder, Bill Gates, all of them, or many of them, didn't finish university.
Yeah, I hear about it,
and
but
it seems you're going in that direction.
Yeah, but I'm going to finish university.
I'll tell you what, I have a few degrees, and my parents, actually my father once said to me, he said that, you didn't go to school to learn how to read. We could have taught you at home. We could have taught you the alphabet at home, how to count, how to do all these things at home. And I'm sure when you have children, you'll be able to teach them. But the reason that you go to school is to learn how to find solutions. And I think what you did is you found a solution for a problem that you had. And this was maybe making extra money to support your education. So is your inspiration or the reason that you set up this business, did you set it up because you needed money for your education, or you set it up because you just wanted to make more money?
Both.
Okay.
Yes, I set it up. I started working, yes, because I needed the extra money.
Yes.
Yeah, my parents were constructing and I
tough,
needed, I needed the money.
Yes.
And it was coming through. And also our hostel fee was increased, so I had to chip in a bit.
Yes.
Yeah, but obviously with time I thought of other people. And when I posted about it, surprisingly, I thought people were going to see it as, I can't do that. But surprisingly, so many people, over 100 people wanted to join. Unfortunately, I couldn't provide work for all of them at once. So I recruited the ones that requested first.
Are these students? Are these other students?
Yes,
or
there are other students.
From other universities?
Yes,
or?
from other universities, Ndeje, MUBS, MOOC. Yeah, some had finished and they were saying they don't have work and they would like to join. But I told them I would want to do a startup for students. Yeah, because they have qualifications and they can get other jobs. But for us, we are really like out of that league.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was specifically looking at the students.
So is the business still growing? Do you still get a lot of call-ins? Do you?
Yes, we get a lot of callings, though my market right now is from social media, because that's where I do all the marketing, especially Twitter. I do a bit of Facebook and Instagram too. So basically that's where all my clients have been from.
Yes.
So I think with more marketing, which obviously comes with chipping in a little bit of funds, with more marketing, we will get more clients, but at least all the clients that we're working with, at least have been from just posting on social media. So it's good feedback. It shows that there's market out there.
So at least, you've used social media positively to enhance your life, to enhance the lives of those 16 other people that you work for, and to provide the rest of... You're only in Kampala, or you're around the country?
Kampala, Wakiso Mukono.
Okay,
for
so
now,
basically not too far away.
Not too far away.
So you can control it. What's your handle? So before we even go there, what's your preferred platform on social media?
Twitter.
Twitter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I believe I'm a good writer and I have good writing skills, so I'm really good when it comes to marketing and writing. So I write about my business, and I don't know if that's what sells me, but I want to believe so. Yeah, so my Twitter handle is YugaWoman01.
Okay.
Yes.
So now you're speaking to all the Ugandans on UBC, at least the people who watch this show. And I'm sure when you go back on Twitter, you're going to talk about having been on this show.
Yes,
so
I will.
they'll see exactly what you do.
Yeah.
And when we come back from the break, we'll talk a bit more about YugaWoman01 and Queen CJs. It's the same person. So stay tuned. Welcome back to the Cedric Live Show. We're here with Christine Turamuhawe. Did I say that right?
Yes, that's right.
Of CJ Solutions,
CJ Home Solutions.
Queen CJ, and YugaWoman01.
Yes,
Now,
YugaWoman01.
Christine was telling us how she's... Now, actually, I'm not going to preempt this. How do you balance all this work? You're doing international business at school. How do you balance these 16 people? Because it's a people's management issue. All your clients and school. How do you do this?
MUBS has a favorable timetable for students to work and still study, because we have 3 segments of timetables, and I do the morning section.
Right.
So I study from 8 to 12, and the rest of the day and night I'm free. So I use that time to do whatever I want, and we don't study during the weekend. So it's basically Monday to Friday, 8 to 12. Yeah, so I really get a lot of free time on my hands to prepare what I'm supposed to do, assign people, post for clients. Yeah.
Now, you're studying international business at MUBS.
Yes.
When you first started out, before you started CJ Solutions, CJ Home Solutions, right?
Yes.
CJ Home Solutions. What was your plan? What were you planning to do?
I've always wanted to be in business.
Yes.
Yeah, but before that, I've been working since 2014. That was my Form 4 vac.
Yes.
Yeah, but I was working in an office setting, and I don't really think it's my thing, because I was there till 2016.
Yes.
Yeah, it was part-time, but I got an experience of working under someone and reporting to someone. I don't think office is for me, so I think business is a way for me, but I just didn't know what exactly I want to invest my time in. Yeah, but cleaning wasn't really on my mind. It wasn't really something I thought I would join, but I'm a clean person. I love to clean my room. I'm a very organized person.
Yes.
Yeah, so it just popped up. I don't believe in mistakes. It just popped up and I started doing it alone, but it was successful. And I have a heart to help people. So I thought of it being something that can help other campus students to earn, because we don't talk about these things, but most students are struggling.
Let's go back a little bit. You know, I'm intrigued. Where were you in school? How did your education start? Where are you from, and where did you start, and how did you get to university?
Well, I've been to so many schools. Yeah, I'm from Bera.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm from Kisoro.
Kisoro.
Yeah, but I studied my primary in Mbavazi and KPS. That is in Kabale.
Mbavazi.
Yes.
And KPS is Kabale?
Kabale Preparatory School.
Okay.
Yes, and I went to Bushenyi. My dad moves a lot, so we keep shifting. I went to Bushenyi, some school called Njaya Preparatory, did my P7 there. Then I went to Mbara. I went to Maryhill.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a very big historical school, Maryhill.
Yes, so I did my O-level in Maryhill, and I did my A-level in London College of St. Lawrence. Yeah, it was. I used to pass and look at it. I'm like, I want to be here.
Well, is that on the way from?
Yes,
that's on
from
the way
Bara.
from. Yes. I think I've seen it on that road.
Yeah, so I went to London College, did my Form 5 and Form 6.
Yes.
And I ended up in MOBS doing
Okay.
international business. So
Fantastic.
that's my school background.
Yes.
Yeah, and I worked at a music academy as a receptionist for almost 4 years.
At where, you said?
Uganda Music Academy.
Where is Uganda Music Academy?
It's in Chiwatule.
Okay.
Yes. I worked there for almost 4 years. It was a good experience. Yeah, I learned so much from there. I learned management from there, even before I joined school.
Yes.
Handling people, handling children. That's how I came up with the whole babysitting, because it was a music academy and they bring children 3, 4, 5 years, 6. You spend the whole day with them, monitor them, make sure they are fine, help them with their break, help them to the toilet. So I really learned a lot from there. And by the way, the cleaning, I used to think it's really something of low class people.
Yes.
But when I was at the music academy, the person that was cleaning for us was educated, had done some, she had done a course, she had her books, she had her papers, but she had to do that. Yes, she had to fend for her family, and she was educating her children, she was paying her rent from doing that. And I used to help her out sometimes. So I realized it was something I could do. There was no shame in it.
You've actually made it quite cool. It sounds cool now.
It's really actually something cool, because I used to do it and think, oh, people are going to see me and think this. But right now I really don't mind.
I think, you know, this problem is mainly in developing countries where people have the perception that cleaning and babysitting and these chores are for people who, you know, it's as you said, what's the word you used? Low class?
Yeah, low
I wouldn't
class.
use that word because I try to be politically correct. But if you go to places like the US, if you go to places in Europe, in Asia, you find that, you know, many of the people who work these jobs are students, young undergraduates, people who've just finished school. They babysit, they clean, they do all these things, and of course you have to be certified. You have to do the criminal checks and things like that. So my next question is, you know right now you've taken on board a lot of responsibility, not just for the people that you work for, but the people that work for you. So now you in a year's time, you'll be a graduate
Yeah.
with a fully fledged business. Are you going to carry on this business, or you're going to go and seek employment and leave all these 16 people to their own devices?
No, I am not going to drop it.
Yes.
I plan on carrying on
Yeah.
because I have bigger plans for it.
Okay.
Yes.
Care to share? Or
Yes.
it's a secret?
No, I would share.
Yeah.
I can share because I want it to still be a student's thing, even when I'm done. I assume that these people who I'm working with right now, when they are done with campus, they're going to have to look for jobs.
Correct.
Yes, and I will put on board new people who are in campus that need to earn a little bit of extra money to maybe support their parents, support themselves, have a little bit of
Do you
fun.
support your parents?
Yes, I do.
Now you do, huh?
Yes, now I do.
Do you have siblings?
Yes, I have siblings.
And you support them too?
I give them a little bit of money
A
once
little
in
bit
a
of
while.
pocket money. A little bit,
Yeah.
little bit. Keep them happy.
Yeah.
Mobile money from time to time.
Yes. So basically that's it. I just want it to be a student's thing, a student startup, something they can rely on, somewhere they can make a little bit of extra money from. Yeah, so I will keep it up. And for the babysitting, I want to have a center, like a place where parents can bring their children to
Like a
spend the
creche,
day.
like
Yes, yes.
yeah.
But I also want it to be an orphanage for a few people that we can take up and care for.
That's wonderful.
Yes, so that's my bigger picture for the babysitting side. But the cleaning part and the cooking is a startup for campus students. Yeah, so those are my future plans for it.
Well, listen, I'd like to congratulate you on your business. It looks like you're doing very well. Hopefully one day I become one of your clients.
I hope so.
If I can afford you. I haven't asked you how much you charge. Can I ask you on television how much you charge?
It's okay.
How much do you charge?
Laundry, we charge between 10 to 20,000.
For what?
We use laundry baskets, so there are different sizes. So a laundry basket.
What's the biggest one? Because of course you have families with lots of kids, and what's the biggest? What's the biggest amount you charge for a big basket?
20,000.
That's it?
Yeah, we're trying to be as
Okay.
cheap
Now for the
as
babysitting,
possible. Babysitting, we do 30,000 per day.
30,000 a day.
And yeah, and 50,000 if the person is sleeping over.
Okay.
Because some people want to travel and they're leaving the children, or they have like a party and it's ending late, so they want you to sleep over, then they will take over in the morning.
Right.
So if someone is sleeping over, it's 50.
Ah, good. And cleaning?
Cleaning depends on the size of the house, but we've not done something that is above 100,000.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's basically maybe 3 rooms, bathroom and kitchen, something like 40K. Yeah, something like 30,000 for maybe 2 bedrooms, a sitting room, a kitchen. So it depends on the size of the house, but it ranges between 20 to 100,000.
Christine, thank you very much for coming on the show at short notice.
You're
I wish you
welcome.
the best, first of all, in your degree, International Business at MUBS, and I hope you get a first-class degree.
Thank
and
you.
then I wish you luck with CJ Home Solutions and Queen CJ and everything that you're trying to do. And it's a wonderful initiative, and you're a role model for many of these young people.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching Christine of CJ Solutions. Thank you for watching. Tune in next week. Thank you.
It's your whole Cedric live in the capital. Live in the